Yes. So I'm visiting my parents in Zuni, and this area is right on the Blackwater River. So they have had a whole week of rain, whereas we had snow. So driving with my son yesterday, we discovered just how high this water has gotten. This is part of the swamp area, and this is actually the road that my parents live on. And I was like, oh my gosh, the water is going to come up over the road. So I figured I would share this with you, this particular water feature, because I always think about this, especially with studying the Willamette and how people can build so close to that water in those wetland areas because of all this. I'm trying to zoom in and get this for you because it goes back pretty far. My car is in the middle of the road, so let's hope I don't get hit. But anyway, it's such an interesting area because of how the Blackwater River floods. And you'll see I'm gonna give you a close-up of that house right there as I'm driving by, because this guy's house is built right on the swamp. And I was talking to my dad about how was he even able to get that land to perk, but you can see just how high the water is from all the rain and how close it is to the edge of the road. My feet. But there's a lot of wildlife back here. This is where I grew up. Okay, so back in the car, driving down the road. So I want you to see there that swamp area is again. And how close that water comes up to the back of that house. So I asked my dad about this because this is a modular home where the septic tank is here because of where it is in conjunction to the swamp. And so now we're a little bit further up the road, and this is one of the sites that just makes me sad. And I don't know if it's Spanish moss or if it's kudzu or what it is that is turning so much of this area into this. All along the Blackwater tributary is back there. So if you look all along here, this is all wetlands area. Which always makes it very interesting. The soil is very dark and rich. And then you have farm area. I would love to see this as an aerial view to get a better understanding. All right, I'm gonna press pause. Okay, so I'm back at my parents' house, but I wanted to stop on the road so you could see. As a kid, my parents used to have more trees back there in that little corner, big fruit trees and things, and the woods has been cleared out some now because the trees have died and have fallen. But you can see the river of water that stands now in the house. You can't walk through the yard anymore because of all the water that's standing, and the ground is so quickly super saturated that it makes it very tricky for getting around. And of course, this house is surrounded by farmland. This was actually part of my granddaddy's farmland. All that area you see back there, that green area. Oh, where's my finger? The green area right here Yeah, that was to be our garden, our 1.5 acre garden. Yep, there she is. But anyway, there was a time when there was all this was farmed, and leaving and coming home, it's just crazy to see how many houses pop up. So anyway, this is probably going to make y'all less dizzy if I hold this way, but all of this down here was woods growing up and farms. And now there are houses tucked away in all these little places. And part of it is people have gotten older and they sell off their land because they don't have anyone to come and farm it. And the first ones ready to snatch up any kind of land out here are developers who sell off these lots. And so all this was a huge farm at one point. And now you see how many houses are in there. Oh, wow. Okay, so I haven't been down this road in a minute, so I'm seeing a lot more houses and things that I hadn't seen before. But it is just kind of crazy to me. So I'm driving down this road. So we used to ride our bicycles when we were younger because we like to come down here and throw rocks in the swamp. So I'm going to see how high it is down here because this is where the water usually tends to be a little more stagnant. I just want to see how high the water is. This is going down on the way to a place or an area called Sand Pit. So I'm gonna pull the car over right here. Okay, here it is. It's a swamp area. You can see how far it's extending back up, and the house is hidden back there right from it. But we are downstream from the North Carolina, and so when North Carolina gets heavy rains and flooding, this is all underwater because it moves here. So with as much rain, as my parents said, came down last week and then this weekend, the water is really high. Usually it doesn't move. It's stagnant and green down here. You can actually see a tire between that tree. This is all underwater during a flood, when it really flooded really bad in North Carolina, and the water was so high up the trees, it was incredible. This is very fast moving for this part because it is very swamp down here. It's really pretty down here. It always is. But you can see just how fast this is moving, the trees that have downed over the years. So studying the Willamette, it just makes me wonder about the places along those bends that are covered in trees, that have the native vegetation and all that. What would happen to that if people were allowed to build close like this, instead of putting the farmland in there, and the difference that it would make in that native species taking up residence there. Just makes me wonder. This is a mostly residential road, and you can see that the farmland is starting to disappear. So just wanted to share.